It's been raining like 5 days straight. I'm getting like a little depressed. Hey guys, Michael Ray Newman here. We are live right now. How's everyone doing? Shuffle Nation. I got myself, Michael Ray Newman here, deep in the heart of Texas, coming to you tonight. We're so grateful that you're here. We appreciate you guys being here. I got the man, Edwin Britt from North Carolina. What's up, Edwin? How you doing, my friend?
Michael, doing great, man. Good evening. Welcome, Shuffle Nation. Hey, Michael, I didn't tell you I was going to do this, but just popped in my mind, man. As people were coming on, I have got a really close friend. Was a business partner, but also just a wonderful human being. His name is Kip Godwin, and he is in ICU with COVID right now, and not getting great reports, man. So if I could just ask our Shuffle Nation to say a little prayer for my friend Kip Godwin. If he were your friend, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. He's that kind of guy. So sorry about that, Michael. I didn't even tell you I was going to say that, but it came on my heart right when you came live, man.
No problem. We're all good to help, man. We're always into it for the long haul, Bubba. And the struggle's real. Don't kid yourself, right? We all know that. So that's for sure. We've talked to a lot of people that have overcome it and done it. So the prayers are with him for sure. So as we jump in here tonight, guys, you might be joining us from the Facebook page, from YouTube, from StreamYard, or some other social channel that Guy and ER have us set up on. We appreciate you guys jumping in this evening, and I really hope that as we start every one of these, Edwin, you and I train across North America. We do it in person, and because what's really cool is that the pandemic's given us a whole new avenue, and we've been able to have a lot more ups because we've been able to go do things like StreamYard and like Zoom and those platforms. So there is hundreds of thousands of people that you and I have, you probably a million, me a few 100,000, have spoken to over the last couple of years, last 4 or 5 years together, man. I've had a ton of fun traveling with you, and just hanging out, having fun, doing what we do. Mindset of a champion is definitely in the sales process, the leadership process, our trust process, all the things that we bring in our business training that we're doing here now. I'm very grateful to bring it to you, man, Edwin. I'm so grateful that I've been able to travel with you and do all the things that we've been able to do. But as we get into it tonight, because what we've been talking about right here, we get into our trust process, which is really cool. It is a life process for me. I found that out. I validated it through Edwin because of what he has learned and lived over his last 30 years being number one in sales, and everything that he's ever done, he's always been number one because of this process. But don't kid yourself. He puts in the blood, sweat, and tears, and he's rewarded in public for what he's done in private for decades. And it started way before. He got into sales. Edwin, his mindset of a champion has been brewing in mine and his mind forever because the way we started our life and what we do, the way we approach life. So life by design, all those things that we teach, guys, understand this, that we drink we drink our own Kool-Aid. There's no bad about it. We drink our own Kool-Aid. It's like I say back here in Texas, because you'll see me living exactly everything that we do. And I didn't realize it. I educate, validate as we go through this process tonight. Every time we get on, we teach mindset of a champion, which I'm very proud of us and what we've been able to build. In our, we're about to launch our virtual masterclass with mindset of a champion, Edwin 52-week program, which I'm really excited about doing that. But it's everything that we've been able to validate over time, and we've been able to test it because we live it, and that's what's so awesome about it. So I want you guys to do this when you jump on tonight. What's up, Gary? How you doing? And everybody else that's coming in, seeing this tonight, make sure that you do one thing. Make it about you. Period. Understand what I said. Make it about you, because all day long, more than likely, you've been making it about everybody else in your business and in your family, personally and professionally. You've been out trying to take care of, fix, put out all the fires, everything that's been able to do. We've been able trying to elevate other people because that's what we do. Servant mentality. A lot of people in this group have this servant mentality, like Guy and ER, Edwin, and myself. Is it being able to help other people do more? But if you can't be everything you need to be, if you can't spiritually, mentally, and physically, and personally, and professionally, and with your family, and financially be the person you need to be for you, you can't support other people. You can't be the best you need to be. So tonight, as we go through this, And this is what I get. Two things I get, Edwin. You already know this. We get this a lot. Man, you guys make it sound easy. The trust process, dude, I love it. I live it, but I can't do it like you guys do it because you guys make it look easy. Well, let me tell you something right now. It used to not be easy. You got to get after it and you got to continue to come back to it. But you have to do this. Don't be Edwin. Don't be myself. Put your personality with it. But as you go in here tonight, take a deep breath, relax for a minute, whether you're in direct sales, whether you're in real estate, whether you're a restaurant, no matter what vertical you're in, take a deep breath this evening and sit back and let this wash over you and think about how can I use this with my family? How can I use this with my business? No matter what it is, whether you're trying to support your team internally, your internal customer, the people that are under you, the people that are on your team, or the people that you employ, or your external customer, the people that buy and trade our goods, that come to us for stuff. So no matter who you're looking for, make sure you make it about you first. Try to strengthen yourself and think about how can I put this and plug this in, and how can I use the process, not the personality that Edwin and I have, not any personality anybody else has, Guy ER has, your personality. How can I use that? So, and we've been going through our business training, Edwin, and we're talking about branding and marketing and our leadership and our sales training and operations and then our accounting, all the 5 areas of your business is what we focus on. And then we look at those KPIs, key performance indicators. And it's all the foundational tool of it is trust. Our trust process is think, plan, and prepare is the first T. And if you think about TRUST, it's think, plan, and prepare. It's relate, uncover the need, offer a solution, and take massive action. No matter any of those 5 business areas that we're going to talk about, which Edwin and I tonight are going to talk a little bit about your ask. And that's going to really relate to a lot of areas of that business. But it's going to talk about your branding, aligning yourself and aligning your brand and your leadership and your sales training and being able to strengthen yourself and your ask in a lot of areas that we do. Everyone's going to kick this off and talk about that. But remember, make it about you tonight. Don't try to be us, but use the tools, the process, the products that we give you with and put this bad boy up together. And guess what else? Practice. We drink our own Kool-Aid, Edwin, but I hadn't been good at it. Edwin's so great at it because of one reason. He practices when nobody else is watching. That's why he gets all the accolades. That's why he's the rock star everywhere we go, is because Edwin Britt, I want you to jump in, brother. Have fun. Play hard. Let's make it count tonight, man.
Hey, Michael, thank you very much. And again, thanks for everybody who's taking some time to invest in yourself tonight. And Michael's so on point as he always is in all these key areas. What I'd like to sort of challenge you with tonight is how your perspective and approach of things are. And people come to Michael and I a lot looking for advice and us to consult with them or whatever it might be. And we hear exactly what Michael said is, you guys make the trust process look so easy. And you guys talk about how it creates these sustainable, predictable results, builds relationships. And what it requires is the intentionality behind it. And so people come to us and they kind of struggle with it. I'm doing this. I'm sending messages out, whether it be I'm sending my shuffle cards out, I'm following up, I'm communicating, I'm sending a message, but I don't seem to be getting back what I would expect. So what I would challenge you with there is be very intentional and learn to say more with less, but in your messaging. So an example might be a shuffle card. It could be any form. It could be a social media post, anything that you're doing to build your influence or capture someone's attention. You want to be repetitive in nature. You want to be consistent with it. And you want one piece to speak to the next piece, to speak to the next piece, that speaks to the next piece. In other words, it's a building effect. There are always several things you're doing, and it should be doing at least these 3 things with every relationship you have. All right. That's internally, customers, we speak about that, and external customers and influencers and partners. You need to be always having a level of appreciation in your messaging, appreciation, gratitude, thank you, acknowledgement. People always appreciate that, especially the internal customers, when we acknowledge and give them the victory, right, that they've earned. So important. The second stage is we need to be constantly educating them. We need to be appreciating and educating. So is your messaging reflecting that? And is it going towards an intentional purpose, a point of strengthening your ask, strengthening your relationship? So if that's, you have 5 or 6 people that sends you the majority of your business, you want to constantly cultivating those 5 or 6 people with appreciation, with education in your messaging. So you're strengthening your ask. Are you getting 100% of the business from that particular funnel? Are you getting some percentage thereof? Are there some people in that funnel that are more complicated than others? Therefore, we need to always be cultivating other people to come into that funnel. The same process. We pick them up by appreciating them, preparing, as Michael spoke about, and having this consistency in our messaging. So oftentimes we're messaging consistently, meaning frequently, but we're not always intentionally messaging consistently that is building on the process. Let me give you an example. I coached today to an imagery, and Michael, I'll just sort of paint this picture here. It won't be as effective as showing it, but imagine someone who is sort of in shorts and a t-shirt, obviously in good condition. So imagine Michael Ray Newman, all right? After he's left,
I definitely have a t-shirt
on. and he's kind of down in a sort of a down position, maybe knees bent, and his elbows are down on his knees and his head's down. And so you might look and ask someone, what do you see? So if you just kind of put that in your mind's eye, that imagery. And as I was testing that, Michael, today, and there's a specific point I'm going to here, people said, well, he looks frustrated, or he looks down or dejected. And I said, and you, Michael and I talk about this a lot in Mindset of a Champion. I said, you know what? An in-depth look always reveals more than a casual glance. So what else do you see? Take an in-depth look. And finally, ultimately, they said, it looks like somebody who's maybe really just had a good session. I said, someone who left it all on the field? And they said, yeah, that is what it looks like. I said, now look again. And they were so focused on the picture. Across the top of the picture, Michael, were these 3 letters. D-O-A. Now, either in the comment field or Michael, help us out. When we see the letters in bold, D-O-A, what's the first thing that comes to mind? It's usually not very good. What is it?
Dead on arrival.
Dead on arrival, excuse me.
That's like our competition. Dead on arrival.
Dead on arrival. Very good. Now, this is my point about bringing together intentionality and being very consistent, always moving it forward. This particular post did several things. One, it upset status quo because underneath that DOA, when you look even closer, there are 3 little words underneath each letter, 1 word under each letter. Under the D says desires. Under the O is opportunities. Under the A is abilities. So at first glance, somebody who looks frustrated and they're talking about being dead on arrival, like they're giving up. But a more in-depth look says, here's an internal optimist who's left it all on the field. And they says, no, I'm going to turn DOA into desires, opportunities, right? And abilities, because that's the intersection where we identify our calling. We identify our calling. It's our purpose, our passion. You combine those things together, you got peak performance. You see how you can unravel the messaging and control the narrative? Pardon me, dry throat. I've been going 10, this is my 12th Zoom today, Michael, so forgive me.
I've seen you do it.
However, final point, I'll hand it back. What did that was a social media post. What did that messaging do, and what are we trying to say? It did what Michael and I always talk about. It upsets someone's status quo and causes them to look inwardly. Versus nice looking, handsome, well built guy. It's going to capture some imagery, right? And then the words and how it drew you out. It upset your status quo and it shifted your thinking. It related to you saying more with less, because we all leave it a little on the field. And what does that really mean exponentially day after day after day after day? If you squeeze the rag every day and you have a bucket that it drops in, pretty soon you got yourself a full bucket if you do it every single day. Consistency of message. And all those things brought it in. This person that I'm describing has a huge influence. In fact, he's a CEO of one of the largest, most successful companies in America. And he built it from the scratch in 2008 during the biggest housing and financial market crisis of our lifetime. He went from not being anything to number 8 in the country out of thousands, right? That's what you can do with your messaging when you're intentional and you're consistent and you're appreciating and you're educating. It deepens your ask, which strengthens your ability to grow your business. Final point. You know what their mission statement is? We exist to love and value people. That's consistent messaging. Educate, appreciate, strengthen your ask. Michael, I'll throw it back. I thought that was the best example I could give for what we were trying to accomplish today.
That's beautiful, Edwin. And you can't, there's nothing I can add to that, but do that, guys. Strengthen your ask. And here's what happens when you have a really good customer, like Edwin said, are you getting all the business? Your best customer, there may be something else, somebody else is there giving some business to. Well, strengthen your ask. An in-depth look, a casual glance to an in-depth look. That's so powerful. Are you taking that in-depth look instead of every week meeting with a guy, talking about the weather, everything else, already a good customer? Every single time, strengthen your ask. They expect it. When you go through a sales call, if you're going through a sales call, you're not asking for the order, you're disappointing two people, yourself and the person that you're asking. They expect you to ask for it. Deepen your ask by adding value, by showing appreciation. Edwin, 5 years ago, Edwin, you gave this talk about gratitude. That is the deepest thing you can do. That is the number one best attitude of all the attitudes. Gratitude's number one. If you can show gratitude, and I educate and validate on everything I do. So I'm sitting in the audience. Edward and I we didn't even know each other at the time. He had been flown in by Zig Ziglar Corporation to speak to a bunch of little guys like me, and I'm sitting in the audience. Edwin steps up and he says, "Let me tell you something about gratitude." He starts talking about it in his own way. And it is the most important thing of all the attitudes. Gratitude is the number one thing you can. So that's when I talk a lot about educate and validate. And he said gratitude, and I was like, you know what? Always lead with gratitude is what he said. I'm like, man, I always lead with appreciation. So it's kind of the same thing. So I said, oh, I do that. I thought so. Then I went like this in my chair, started setting up. I was like, I'm gonna pay attention to this old boy because he's like me, kind of. He told me something I like. So then I started listening to him more. So lead with gratitude, showed your appreciation, same thing. And then you come back in. Then those things you can deepen your ass because you're deepening your relationship. And people will always. And I'm gonna end with this. I don't need to go anymore, man, dude. You killed it tonight. If you guys need to go back and listen to this. And Gary, I'm glad you're back, brother. I know it's been crazy. I can't wait to hear your story. But here's what I want. This is perfect for you guys, man. A casual glance opposed to an in-depth look. Go back and look back into this and think about you and what Edwin just told you tonight, because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care about them. And that's what this message is tonight, E. Thank you so much, Edwin. I appreciate you, Bubba. We don't need to talk anymore. I want people to go back and review this, take great notes on it, and implement it. Play hard, have fun, make it count, guys. And if nothing else you can do what my granny said. Be nice, because people don't always remember what you say, but they always remember how you made them feel. We'll see you guys in the funny papers. Edwin Britt, love you, brother. Great job tonight. We'll see you.